Good day, boys and girls. I am Professor Poindexter, your favorite Bible school teacher. It is great having you in our virtual classroom today. I hope you're ready for another exciting lesson with me and my good old friend Doc. You remember Doc, don't you? He works in our community schools. Recently, Doc told me that education is the great equalizer. Equalizer? That's an interesting thought. Let's listen as he shares more of his thoughts.
That's right, y'all. My first name is Herbie. May look like a jockey in the Kentucky Derby. Since kindergarten, I've applied the knowledge, and after 12th grade, I went straight to college. Hey, it's Doc, and I'm back. And you know what? Education is the great equalizer. And I learned that from this guy right here. This is my dad. And folks, I want to tell you that, I can take those Jordans off your feet, but no one can take your education from you because it's priceless. And let me tell you a quick story about why your education is so important. This young man right here, when he was 17 years old, in Florence, South Carolina, he went into a restaurant for white people only. And when he came out of that bathroom that day, he was put down on the ground by police officers and spent 3 days in South Carolina State Prison. And I have the coins right here to prove it as a memory of we can't forget our past. My dad kept 3 South Carolina State Prison coins as a memory of what life was like in Florence, South Carolina. And in prison, they used these coins to buy toothpaste, gum, and chips. And he kept these and passed them to me so that I would never forget where we came from, so I can help us to understand where we need to go. History is so important because we need to learn that we can't make the same mistake over and over again. The first time it's a mistake, the second time it's a choice. On the 3rd day in South Carolina State Penitentiary, the community band together to get my dad out. And when my dad got out, he said, "You know what I want to do? I'm not going to burn down that restaurant. I'm not going to riot. We're not going to set the town on fire." He said, "I'm going to become a teacher." Because he said, if I can teach children how to love, how to turn to each other and not on each other, then hopefully one day my children won't have to suffer what I went through as a teenager in Florence, South Carolina. As most of you know, Herbert Thomas Monroe went on to become a teacher and an amazing principal at both Ratcliffe Elementary and Laburnum Elementary. So folks, what I want you to know is, and to understand, there was a time when people that looked like me weren't even allowed to read, to write, or to learn. So again, your education is priceless. It's something that once you get it, no one can take it away from you. So value it, take advantage of it, and love it. This is a word from Doc. Peace. Greetings and happy MLK Day, and that is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And it is a plum-pleasing pleasure to be here. My name is Dr. Herbert T. Monroe III, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent for Caroline County Public School. But I'm also a community leader and a mentor. And it's so important for each one to teach one, especially when we talk about education. And hopefully you enjoyed the video because education is truly the great equalizer. I would also like to thank Dr. Kimball and Kimball's Court for allowing me to share just a few things with you today. We are under numerous pandemics right now. And what I'm challenging all of you all to do, whether you're young or whether you're old, is to find your COVID comfort. Folks, your COVID comfort could be spending more time with your family. It could be exercising. It could be listening to music. It could be doing those things that maybe you haven't done in a long time, but maybe the COVID will allow you to do. What I'm going to share in the next few videos are some things that bring me COVID comfort. The first one I'm going to share with you is I love to make motivational videos. Now more than ever, it is important for us to spread positivity and love, because in the world today, it is so important that we turn to each other and not on each other. And I know that is a theme that Dr. King embraced throughout his life. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to share with you that as you return to learn, whether it's hybrid, whether it's virtual, it's so important to always follow directions the first time given. I call it the appropriate ways to respond. Because what I've found as a principal and now as a division leader, it's not your inappropriate behavior that gets you in trouble. It's how you respond when your behavior is being addressed that can get you in trouble. So whether you're at home, at school, or in the community, please be sure to make the right choice. You're the architect of your future. What are you building? Let's take a look.
Good day, boys and girls. Once again, it's Professor Poindexter, your favorite Bible school teacher. It's great having you in our virtual classroom today. I hope you're ready for another exciting lesson with me and my good old friend Doc. You remember Doc, don't you? He works in our community schools. Today, Doc has a message about appropriate ways to respond. While working in the schools, my suspicion is that perhaps he has seen inappropriate responses from students. Maybe or maybe not. Let's take a listen as he shares more of his thoughts.
Hey, it's Doc and I'm back, and today I kind of want us all to march to the beat of a different drum. And the message is really about the appropriate ways to respond. Because as a former teacher, principal, district leader, and now as assistant superintendent, I've always found that it wasn't a student's inappropriate behavior that got them in trouble. It's how they responded when their behavior was being addressed that got them in trouble. Using the appropriate ways to respond can be the difference between a referral and getting kicked out of class, or things just de-escalating and you staying in class. I know you're going to make the right choice. So listen carefully. This is my advice to all of our students out there, whether you're returning to learn virtually or whether you're going back to school, is this. Whenever an adult makes a reasonable request, you got 4 ways to respond. You should say, okay, and do what you were told. You can say yes and do what you were told. If you were raised to say yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, that's always a great choice. And like my 28-year-old daughter, sometimes you may not need to say anything at all, but demonstrate the appropriate body language and do what you were asked to do in 7 to 10 seconds. Because again, folks, it's not your inappropriate behavior that gets you in trouble, but it's how you respond when your behavior is being addressed that may get you sent to the principal's office. And I'll tell you right now, being respectful and responding to people appropriately, it's not punking out. It's not being less than a man. It's the right thing to do. So trust me, applying, modeling, and implementing, and even using the appropriate ways to respond will set you up for success. Remember, you're the architect of your future. So what are you building? Hey, this was a word from Doc. Peace. I hope you will implement the appropriate ways to respond. Team, I'm telling you, what you do today matters. You are where you are because of the decisions you made a day ago, a week ago, a year ago, or 5 years ago. Where you will be a day from now, a week from now, a year from now, and 5 years from now is based on the decisions you make today. So make the right choice. The choice is always yours. The next thing I want to share with you is there is a pandemic going on right now. We know about the health pandemic. We know about the social pandemic. But there's another pandemic, and it has to do with people of color in the classroom and in positions of leadership. I am asking all of you to make sure that you don't talk about it, but you be about it. It's all about action. And one of the actions that I've taken with a good friend of mine by the name of Ryan Stein is founding and launching an organization called Leading From Inside. Leading From Inside is a robust professional development program to attract teachers and leaders of color. We have received right now some funding from recognized organizations, and we have over 200 people in our cohort. We even have 78 students from Virginia State. I want to share with you right now the importance of leading from inside with this video. Enjoy. Change will not come if we wait for some other person or some other time. We are the ones we have been waiting for. We are the change we seek. Folks, that's from President Obama, and I'm telling you right now, it is time.
It's time for leadership.
It's time for action.
It's time to lead from inside.
Learn how to build your evidence and artifacts so you're not just a hollow Easter bunny.
Build lifelines to connect with kids.
Let's go all in to build your village.
What makes you distinguished? What makes you stand out? Join us to build your brand.
We're here to save education. Come join the movement. Last but not least, it's time to have some fun and groove to the rhythms of the drum. I mentioned earlier that during this pandemic, it's so important to find your COVID comfort. It really will be the savior for your social and your emotional and spiritual wellness. My COVID comfort is drumming. Through this COVID, I have gone back to my drumming, and I've learned from our local drum masters, one by the name of Kevin Davis and the other by the name of Arisigun Bennett. They are my drum teachers, my mentors, and my friends. I want to close out today by featuring Kevin Davis and Mr. Arisigun in a drum circle. The power of the drum has brought me together with my community, and I've met a lot of amazing mentors and most especially friends. For example, Arisigun, who actually gives me lessons and teaches me how to make drums, and Kevin Davis, who was my spark, the gentleman that got me started. So let's get started right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for listening. And it was a plum-pleasing pleasure to be a presenter on this most important day. If your school, college, or university, business, church, or organization, or club is looking for a way to be motivated, educated, and inspired, please reach out to me at awordfromdoc.com. Thank you and peace.